everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we're making this adorable dinosaur stuffy. It's like an amigurumi, but it's kind of large actually, so this is going to be so much fun to make. I am using Red Heart Super Saver yarn in this project. Thanks to them for providing this yarn for this project today. I'm using 4 different colors. In this project, my main color is going to be spring green, and then my secondary color here is called Pool, and then for the eyes we just need a tad bit of white and black for the eye colors here. So for this project, this is a worsted weight size 4 medium yarn, and it's you know, very thin, almost like a double knitting yarn, but you can also use an Aran yarn if you aren't able to get a worsted weight yarn. So that is Red Heart Super Saver. You're also going to need a G hook, which is 4 millimeters. I'm using a G6 hook, which is 4.25 millimeters, and this fancy hook that I'm using, I've shown you in a lot of my other videos. I got this at the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. I'll put the link in the description on where you can get these ergonomic, hand-carved, handcrafted hooks, and you can get boy hooks or Bates hooks. They are fixed in the handle, and they're very, very comfortable to use. One of my favorite hooks to use. Also, you're going to need a scissors and a yarn needle to cut yarn, sew pieces together, sew in all your ends. So this little amigurumi here, this dinosaur, we're gonna make all the pieces and then sew them all together. So this stands about 12 inches tall with that spike at the top there, which is about 30 centimeters. Okay, 12 inches, 30 centimeters. So that's how tall this guy is. If you want to, you can use a smaller crochet hook to make him a little bit smaller. And then also for the tail width and everything, it's about 12 and a half, almost 13 inches from the front of the foot to the back of the tail, which is about 34 centimeters. So that's how big this little guy is, but you can make this as big or small. You can use a smaller hook or a bigger hook. I wouldn't go much bigger, maybe an H size hook, just so that you don't see the polyfill inside here, which is another supply you're going to need, and I don't know, I have some here. There we go. Here's the polyfill. I got polyfill there, so make sure you have some of that handy, and then those are all the supplies. So before we begin, I have to mention there are those links in the description of this video. There's a link to where you can get all the supplies for this project, a link to where you can get this crochet hook, a link to my blog where you can get the free written pattern for this fun little dinosaur. Also, find out more information on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. You can Snapchat me your pictures of your amigurumis, so make sure you follow me there. All the information is in the description of this video. And I have to say a huge thank you to my dad, Fuad Azmat, for taking the time to make this video with us. He's our videographer, editor, and photographer for all of our videos at YARNutopia, so make sure you subscribe to our channel here on YouTube so you can get the update on when he posts our next video. So now let's just get started and make this cute little dinosaur amigurumi. Let's start off with a slip knot. We're going to use our main color. We're going to start off with making the head. So put your short end over your long end, then fold that down, and then pull your long end through and pull tight. Okay, and then insert your hook. And to make the head, we are going to, let me get my pattern here all situated. We're going to chain 2, so yarn over and pull through 1 and 2, and in the second chain from the hook we are going to put 6 single crochets. So go into that chain, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, that's a single crochet. And we're going to use that throughout this video here. So go into the same chain, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So there's 2, here's 3, there's 4, 5, and 6. Now what I'm going to do is insert my stitch marker. You can use an extra piece of yarn or a stitch marker or something just to mark your rounds, and then we're going to continue working in continuous rounds. And what I'm going to do is work in the back loop only. So as you can see, we usually go through both loops like this, both loops, and both loops there. The loop that's furthest away from you over here, this is considered the back loop. Okay, so back loop, back loop, back loop. And then the stitch that's in front here, this is called the front loop. So we're going to ignore those and we're going to work in those back loops for the rest of this pattern. Okay, so I'm going to insert your stitch marker there, and we're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So go right into this next one here and put 2 single crochets in there. 1 and 2. And then hop to the next stitch and go put 2 in there. 1 and 2. Okay, back loops only. Go into the next stitch. 1 and 2. Okay, so 2 single crochets in each stitch around will get you 12 single crochets on round 2. 1 and 2, and last one here. 1 and 2. Okay, then we can move our stitch marker up and go on to round 3. For round 3, we are going to increase again. We're going to single crochet twice in this next stitch. So go into this next stitch in the back loop right there, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Then go back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and then in the next stitch, we're just going to put 1 single crochet. And we're going to repeat that whole sequence all the way around. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Then 2 single crochets in the next, and then 1 single crochet in the stitch after that. So just do that all the way around. You should have 18 single crochets at the end of round 3. So I'll meet you up for round 4. Moving that stitch marker up and going on to round 4, we're going to increase again. Let's put 2 single crochets in this next stitch. Whoopsie. 1 and 2. And then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 1. And then just repeat that all the way around. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2. And then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, 1 and 1. Okay, so at the end of round 4, we'll have 24 single crochets. So just repeat that sequence and I will meet you up for round 5. Going on to round 5, let's move our stitch marker up. We are going to increase again. So let's put 2 single crochets in the next stitch. Remember, back loops only. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches for this round. So go into this next stitch, put 1, next stitch 1, and next stitch 1. And then we'll repeat that sequence all the way around. So you can see the increase kind of pattern here. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Remember last round it was 2 single crochets in the next stitch and then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches? Well, this round, round 5, is in the next 1 in the next 3 stitches. So you can, and then the next round will be next 4 stitches, and so on and so on. So I'm going to repeat this round. This is 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, for a total of 30 stitches around for round 5. So then once I finish that, I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 6 for another increase. Alright, going on to round 6, let's move our stitch marker up and increase. Let's put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches for this round. So go in and make a single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches in the back loops only. Okay, and then just repeat that sequence. I'm being silly with my hook here, my yarn. There we go. 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so do that sequence all the way around, and then at the end of this round you'll have 36 single crochets. So I'll meet you up for round 7. Alright, going on to round 7, moving my stitch marker up. Rounds 7, 8, and 9 are a non-increase, so we're just going to work in those back loops of each stitch, and we're just going to put 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So that's for rounds 7, which is what I'm working now, and then rounds 8 and 9. So I'm going to do these next 3 rounds, and then I'll meet you up when I go on to round 10. Alright, going on to round 10, so you can see here I did round 7, 8, and 9. So now we're just going to move our stitch marker up, and round 10 we're going to increase, but it's a little different than what we've been doing. So let's put 2 single crochets in this first stitch here, 1 and 2, and then put 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then repeat that one more time. Okay, so 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and now we have 23 stitches left. We're just going to put 1 single crochet in the rest of the stitches on this round. Okay, so we only increased 3 times, so at the end of round 10 we'll have 39 single crochets. So I'm just going to single crochet in the rest of these stitches, and then I'll meet you up for round 11. Alright, just finished up that round. Going on to round 11, we're going to move our stitch marker up, and we're going to do a similar increase like that last round. So we're going to put 2 single crochets in this next stitch. Always remember back loops only. And then we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then repeat that one more time. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to put 2 single crochets in that next stitch there, 1 and 2, and then we're just going to put 1 single crochet in the rest of the stitches, which should be 24 single crochets on the rest of this round. And then at the end of this round, okay, this is round 11, you should have 42 single crochets at the end of round 11. So I'm going to do that, count my stitches up, make sure I have 42 stitches, and then I'll meet you up for round 12. Alright, round 12 is going to be a little bit more different here. Let's move our stitch marker up. Round 12 says we have to put 2 single crochets in this next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 7 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then repeat that one more time. So put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, whoopsie, here's 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then what we're going to do is put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2. Okay, but now instead of single crocheting in the rest of the stitches, we are going to put a slip stitch in each of the last 25 stitches. So there should be 25 stitches left, and we're going to slip stitch in the back loop. So go in the back loop here, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook, but do not pull tight. We are going to be working in those slip stitches in the next round. So go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Do not pull it tight though, okay? So go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and through. Do not pull tight, okay? Just like this for the rest of the stitches on this round. You can see that they are really close to that last round there. Okay, those stitches are going to be really close together, which is what we want. This is like right under the chin of our dinosaur head. So I am going to just slip stitch in the rest of these stitches. Just make sure that they are not too tight. And then I'll just meet you up for round 13. At the end of round 12, you should have 45 single crochet, or actually 45 stitches. You should have 20 single crochets and 25 slip stitches in total. So let's move our stitch marker up, and going on to round 13, we're actually going to do rounds 13 and 14 are the same. So I'm going to show you how to do round 13, and then you can do round 14 exactly the same. So let's single crochet into the first 20 stitches. So single crochet, basically, well, my stitch marker is being silly. Here, move your stitch marker up, get it out of the way. I'm talking myself through this. Alright, go into the stitch in the back loop only, single crochet in there, there we go. Alright, so single crochet into each single crochet and slip stitch in each slip stitch. So single crochet in these first 20 stitches. I'm just going to go a little faster here. You know how to single crochet by now. So single crochet into the first 20 stitches and then slip stitch in each slip stitch. But I'm going to single crochet in here pretty fast, and then I want to show you how to slip stitch in the slip stitch, because we're going to only work in those back loops. And I'm almost there. Okay, 2 more stitches here. 1 and 2. Okay, so I single crocheted into 20 stitches. So now we're at this slip stitch here. We're just going to go in that back loop there, yarn over, pull through, and through. Okay, and then just go in the back loop of this next one here, yarn over, pull through, and through. So this is not an increase round. We are just single crocheting in the single crochets and slip stitching in the slip stitches. And we're doing that for rounds 13 and 14. Okay, so I'm going to do that for these 2 rounds. I'm more than halfway done now with round 13. I'm going to finish round 14, and then when we go on to round 15, I'll meet you up and we'll do that together. Alright, just finished rounds 13 and 14 there, so now we're going to move our stitch marker up. And we're going to go on to rounds 15 through 18. We are just single crocheting in each stitch around, okay? So no more slip stitches, just single crochets all the way around, no increasing either. Just 45 stitches around, so we're going to just put 1 single crochet in the back loop of each stitch for rounds 15, 16, 17, and 18. So 4 rounds of this, just single crocheting. So I'm going to do that, and when I finish round 18, I'll meet you up. We'll go on to decreasing for round 19. Alright, just finished rounds 15, 16, 17, and 18. We just single crocheted around. So now we're going on to round 19. I am going to move my stitch marker up. We are going to decrease, but it's just a very simple decrease. We are going to single crochet into 32 stitches. So I won't make you watch me single crochet into 32 stitches. Just count your stitches here, single crochet in these first 32 stitches, and then I'll meet you up at the next step. Alright, I just single crocheted in the first 32 stitches, and if you look below here you can see your slip stitch section here, and you should be right at the center now. Right here is the center of that. If you look on each side, you'll be really close to the center. So now we're going to single crochet 2 together. So go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. Okay, that is a single crochet decrease or a single crochet 2 together stitch. And now we're just going to put 1 single crochet in the rest of the stitches on this round, which should be 11 stitches here. So I'm just going to single crochet in these last 11 stitches, and we can just go right into the next round. I'm almost there. Awesome. So now for round 20, so actually after round 19, you should have 44 single crochets around, so we just decreased that 1 stitch. Now let's move our stitch marker up. Going on to round 20, we are going to single crochet into the first 20 stitches. Okay, so much different than that last round. We're going to single crochet in these first 20 stitches, and then I'll meet you up for the next step. Alright, after single crocheting in those first 20 stitches, as you can see, if you go down below here, you'll see your slip stitch section is right at this point. So now we are going to decrease. Let's single crochet 2 together. So go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, that's single crochet 2 together. And then let's single crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. Okay, that sequence right there, that single crochet 2 together and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches, we have to do that sequence 6 times. So that was considered 1. Let's go into the next stitch and single crochet those next 2 stitches together, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches, just a regular single crochet in each of those. So that's our second repeat. Let's repeat it again. Single crochet 2 together, single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Okay, we're decreasing quite a bit here. That is, oopsie, our third repeat. Okay, halfway there. Let's single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. That's our fourth repeat. 2 more times here. Single crochet 2 together, single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and 1 more time. Single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Oh, and we're at the end of this round. That was simple. So at the end of round 20, we'll have 38 single crochets around. So now going on to round 21, we are going to do something quite similar to what we just did. So let's move our stitch marker up. Okay, single crochet in those first 20 stitches. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you up for the next step. Alright, we're at that point now, so we single crocheted in those first 20 stitches, and then if you look down here, you can see that our slip stitch section has started over here. So we're going to decrease at this point. Let's put single crochet 2 together. So this stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the next, yarn over, pull that through. So we have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And then we're going to just single crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to repeat that sequence 6 times. So that was 1, so single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next stitch. That's 2, single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next stitch. So that's 3, single crochet 2 together, and then in the next stitch, so that's our 4th repeat, single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next stitch. That's our 5th repeat and our last one here, and we are finished with this round. Fabulous. That was simple. So at the end of round 21, you should have 32 stitches around. You can see the closing is getting much smaller. So now let's move our stitch marker up. And we are going to do a little bit of a different decrease for round 22. So let's single crochet in those first 20 stitches, just like our last 2 rounds. We're just going to single crochet in the first 20 stitches, and once I do that, I'll meet you up for the next step. Alright, continuing round 22 now, we are going to, so I just single crocheted in those first 20 stitches there. So now we are going to single crochet 2 together, So go in that stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. And now we're going to single crochet in the next 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There should be 2 stitches left. We're going to single crochet those 2 together to finish off this round. So now we should have 30 stitches around for round 22. Let's move our stitch marker up, and round 23 we are just going to put 1 single crochet into each stitch around for another same total of 30 single crochets around. So I'm gonna do that, just single crochet around for round 23, and then I will meet you up for, oh, you know what? In my pattern it says round 24 is also a 30. So we're actually going to do rounds 23 and 24 single crochet in each stitch around for these 2 rounds, rounds 23 and 24. And so then I'll just meet you up when we go on to round 25. Alright, I just did rounds 23 and 24, just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around for 30 single crochets in each round. So now moving my stitch marker up, going on to round 25. After this round we're going to need our polyfill. So let's do a decrease. Let's single crochet 2 together. Okay, you know how to do that already. And then single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're just going to repeat that sequence all the way around. So single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I'm going to do that all the way around. You'll have 24 single crochets at the end of this round, so I'll meet you up for the next round. Alright, going on to round 26, let's move our stitch marker up. We are going to decrease again, so grab your polyfill. Actually, I'm going to pull this out here and grab my polyfill. Okay, we're going to stuff this thing. So we're going to grab a bunch and kind of just shove it inside there. Okay, you want to make sure this, where these slip stitches are, that's the chin or the bottom of the head, and then where it comes up over here, that is the forehead or the eye area. Okay, so we're going to stuff this thing a generous amount because now we're going to decrease quite a bit. Okay, kind of just spread it around in there. And you don't want to stuff too much where you'll see this polyfill through the stitches. Okay, just enough to make it look good, but you don't want to stuff it like this and then there's like little poking areas here. You want to stuff it good. Okay, so once you are fully satisfied with the amount of stuffing, we can go on to round 26 here. Let's insert our hook back in there. Okay, I'm going to keep my polyfill on hand, so I'm going to probably stuff this a little more as I get closer to the last round. So let's single crochet 2 together. Okay, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2, and then just repeat that sequence all the way around. So single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. Okay, so do that all the way around. At the end of round 26, you will have 18 single crochets. I'll meet you up for round 27. Alright, going on to round 27, moving my stitch marker up, we are going to single crochet 2 together, and then just single crochet in the next stitch. And then just repeat that sequence around. So it's going to get pretty tight and it's going to stretch out. So just single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next stitch. At the end of round 27, you will have 12 stitches all the way around. And if you need to, continue stuffing just enough so you have enough in there, because once this is closed, there's no going back. So just single crochet 2 together, and you know what, I'm almost done with this round, so we can just go right into round 28 once I finish this round here. And I did end up putting a little bit more stuffing after round 26 there. I put a little bit more stuffing in here. Okay, 2 more stitches left. Okay, at this point, put that rest of that stuffing in there if you need to. I'm just going to put just a tad bit more. Okay, and our last round, round 28, we are going to single crochet 2 together 6 times. So there's 1, hop to the next 2 stitches, single crochet 2 together. That's our second one. Single crochet 2 together. Here's our third one. Single crochet 2 together. There's our, what is that, 4th? Yep, we have 2 left here. Here's our 5th and 6th. Awesome. The last thing we have to do to fasten off, we're going to go into this next stitch right here, and straight across from it, skip these 2 stitches, and right across from this one is the 4th, it's the 1st and the 4th stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The 1st and the 4th stitch, we're going to go into both of those, straight across from each other, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 to single crochet those 2 together, and then chain 1, and then we're going to cut our yarn, and we're going to continue to pull that all the way through that chain 1 and fasten that off. Remove that stitch marker. Okay, take our hook on the inside of our work, okay, and then go through there, pull that straggler into the head, just like that. Fabulous! And there's our dinosaur head. Awesome. Now you can kind of shape it, kind of make its snout come like this, make sure the eye area comes up, and this is the chin area here. Looks good to me. So now this is what your piece should look like, something like that. So now we can set this aside and let's start making the body to come up, and so then we can sew that to the head. Alright, we're going to make the body now. Let's make a slip knot. We're using the same color. Now, if you want to, you can rewind this actually. I'm going to repeat rounds 1 through 6 of the head. So I suggest now at this point to rewind this video, do rounds 1 through 6 until you have 36 stitches around, and then I'll meet you up with, repeat that from what that we did for the head, and then once you have 36 stitches around, I'll meet you up. We'll do another increase for round 7, but it's exactly the same as the head part for rounds 1 through 6. So just rewind this, do rounds 1 through 6 of the head, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 7 for the body. Alright, so I've completed rounds 1 through 6, same as the head. So now let's go on to round 7 to make this body. So it's very similar to the increase we've been established here. So let's put 2, oh, you know what, let me get a stitch marker here. I wasn't working with a stitch marker off camera, so to show you guys, I'll insert my stitch marker to mark my rounds, and we're going to put 2 single crochets in this next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then repeat that whole sequence all the way around. So put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. And at the end of this round, we will have 42 single crochets. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll meet you up for round 8. Alright, that is round 7 there. I have 42 stitches, so now going on to round 8, moving that stitch marker up, we are going to do one more increase. So let's put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 6 stitches this round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, just remember we're working in those back loops, so you can see that pattern there. And then we're just going to repeat that all the way around. So put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 6 stitches. At the end of round 8, we will have our largest number here. We're not increasing anymore. We're going to have 48 stitches around. So after round 8, I'll meet you up. We'll go on to round 9 together. Alright, moving my stitch marker up, we have 48 stitches around. We are done increasing. So now for rounds 9 through 20, okay, a lot of rounds here. Rounds 9 through 20, we are going to just put 1 single crochet in each stitch around to make the body, and then we will be decreasing after round 20. So I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around for rounds 9 through 20, and when I'm finished with round 20, I'll meet you up. We will start decreasing in round 21. Alright, so I did those 12 rounds there, rounds 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 off camera here. So this is what your piece should sort of look like right now. So now we're going to start decreasing. Round 21, we are going to move our stitch marker all the way up here. And we are going to single crochet 2 together. So go into this next stitch here, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And then we're just going to single crochet in the rest of the stitches on this round. So at the end of round 21, you'll have 47 stitches. It's that simple. And then for the next rounds, we are going to repeat that around until we get to 42 stitches. So on round 22, the next round, we're going to single crochet 2 together and then single crochet in the rest of the stitches, which will get you to 46 stitches. And then round 23 will be 45 stitches, round 24 will be 44 stitches, round 25 will be 43 stitches, and then round 26 will be 42 stitches. So I'm just going to repeat round 21. This is round 21 that I'm working on right now. Just single crochet those first 2 stitches together and then single crochet in the rest of the stitches around, and repeat that for rounds 22 to 26, and at the end of round 26 you'll have 42 stitches. If you need to, you can follow along with the written pattern or just repeat round 21. I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you up after I finish round 26. And you can see here I'm almost done with round 21 here. So yeah, I'm just going to meet you up when I finish round 26, when I have the 42 stitches around, and then we'll decrease even more after we have the 42 stitches, but we're just going to decrease by 1 stitch until we get to 42 stitches. So there we go. I'm on round 22 now. So moving my stitch marker up, single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the rest of the stitches around. So around 22 I'll have 46 stitches. So just repeat that, and then I'll meet you up for round 27. Alright, just have 42 stitches now. So we did rounds 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27 here. Oh, just kidding. It was 21. Sorry. Round 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. And we're going on 27 now. Going to move that stitch marker up and decrease differently now. So we just decreased 1 stitch for each of those rows, and you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 rows of that, decreasing 1 stitch each row. So now going on to round 27 here, we're going to single crochet 2 together, And then we're going to single crochet in the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we're going to repeat that sequence all the way around. So it'll be a repeat 6 times there. So single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then just repeat. So at the end of round 27, we will have 36 single crochets. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you up for round 28. Alright, for round 28, let's move our stitch marker up. We are going to decrease again. Let's single crochet 2 together. Okay, and then we're just going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches this time. So go into the next stitch and just put a regular single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then just repeat that sequence all the way around. So single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So at the end of round 28, we'll have 30 single crochets around. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'll meet you up for round 29. Alright, round 29, we're moving our stitch marker up, and we're going to decrease one more time. Let's single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next 3 stitches this round. So 1, 2, and 3, and then repeat that sequence all the way around. You can see this center circle here is getting a little bit smaller, so that's good. So let's single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and repeat that around. So you'll have 24 single crochets at the end of round 29. So then I'll just meet you up for round 30. Alright, for round 30, we are just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So no more decreasing. We're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and then at the end of round 30, I'll show you how to fasten off, and we'll be able to stuff this and attach it to the head. Alright, finished with round 30. We are done now, so I'm going to remove this stitch marker here, and we are going to fasten this off. So let's go underneath both loops of the next stitch, okay, front and back loop, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And then chain 1, and we're going to cut our yarn long for sewing. So let's cut it quite long here, and then continue to pull it through that chain 1 there, just like that, and then pull tight, and we have our body. So now let's grab our stuffing here, and let's stuff this big body. Okay, just make sure you, again, like I showed you in the head part, just distribute the stuffing accordingly and really nicely all the way in, and make sure it's not too stretched out or wonky looking like that. So make sure it's, you know, distributed evenly, and you can kind of squeeze it around, make it nice and plump. Add some more. I think that's good. And once you are satisfied with the amount of stuffing, you can grab your dino head, make sure that the slip stitches are at the bottom here, and take your side that's stuffed here, and we're going to attach it at the center right behind our slip stitch section. So if you look at your head like this, okay, we fastened off back here. This is where our last round was. That's the back of the head. This is the front of the head. You can see the eye section. The eyes will be over here. And this is the underneath the head where the slip stitches are. Okay, that's where we're going to attach this. And you can use the photos as a guide and whatever else you need to do as a guide we're just going to attach this right here. Okay, so grab your yarn needle and that long straggler from the body. Yarn your needle with that. Okay, and then I'll show you how to attach this. We're going to position this right in the center. So find the center, that's kind of your choice, kind of just eyeball it, and we're going to go in from these stitches that are in the front loops. We're just going to go through those front loop stitches that we skipped over in making this piece. Okay, and then we're going to just whip stitch this. So I'm going to go into the next stitch on this piece, and then in the next stitch on this piece. Okay, and if you need to, you know, manipulate this however you need to on a table, on you know, you can pin this together first if you need to, get extra hands to help you something, because it's going to be a lot of trying to figure this out. Okay, so go underneath the stitch and this next loop here. And you can see here this stitching is loose here. You just want to make sure that you pull it tight, okay? So there you go. And hold this up right here. And let me get this out of the way so you can see here. Okay, and we're gonna go until about this point here, and then we're gonna start working to the back. Okay, so you want to just go around and around, just around this piece and whip stitch. Okay, so I'm gonna do that all the way around. We're gonna go around here. Ooh. Don't lose your head. And then around here. So good luck, and I will meet you up when I get back around this whole thing, and we'll fasten this off together. Alright, I sewed around the whole neck, so that is that. I just used the front loops of these stitches here to sew them in, so they're nice and secure. So to fasten this off, we're going to go into the next two stitches here. Okay, see, there we go. And then keep our finger in the loop. Okay, and then come back through the loop and remove our finger and then pull that tight. Just like that. And you could do that once or twice. I'm going to do it 2 times just for safety, for peace of mind. Just keep your finger in the loop, come back through the loop, and pull. Okay, and then we can insert this into our piece, kind of push it wherever, squeeze, and pull that needle through, and then cut any extra, and then stretch it out to hide that. And that is attached. Alright, so there's the front of our dinosaur. Okay, there's the neck, there's the back. Okay, so this is, we have to attach the tail next. So let's set this aside and grab some more green yarn, and let's make the tail. Let's get right into it. Grab that green, make a slip knot, so put your short end over that long end, fold that down and pull that through and pull it tight. Insert your hook and clean off all the polyfill on your desk. Okay, so for the tail, we are going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and we are going to put 6 single crochets in the second chain from the hook, so round 1 of our body and our head here. So 1, here's 2, here's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now we're going to work in those continuous rounds, so let's insert our stitch marker here. And for round 2, we are going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around for a total of 6 single crochets again. And I'm going to work in those back loops only just to be consistent with the body and the head. So we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around, that is a total of 6, and that will create more of a pointed tail look. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's really, really tight, so you might not be able to see your stitches very well. There's 5 and 6. There we go. All right, move that stitch marker up, going on to round 3. Now rounds 3 through, what is this, 20. Rounds 3 through 20 are exactly the same. We are increasing by 1. So let's put 2 single crochets in this next stitch. Did I say that right? Yeah, okay. 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the rest of the stitches around. So that should be 5 stitches on round 3 here. 1. Ooh. This piece is so small. It'll get bigger, I promise. We're increasing. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then going on to round 4, we're going to move our stitch marker up and repeat round 3. So we're repeating round 3 now until we have 24 stitches around. For round 20, on round 20 we'll have 24 stitches around. So I'm just going to repeat round 3. Just put 2 single crochets in the first stitch and 1 single crochet in the rest of the stitches around. You'll increase by 1 stitch every round. If you want to, you can follow along with the written pattern. It will have all the stitch counts and everything for each round, but I am going to increase by 1 stitch every round in that first stitch. Just repeat round 3 until you have 24 stitches. Once I finish round 20, I will meet you up because we are going to continue for just a few more rounds. So I'll meet you up when I finish round 20. Alright, just finished round 24, so this is what your piece should look like right now, just like a tail, a pointy tail. So we have 24, I'm sorry, this was round, did I say round 20? I meant round 20. Just kidding. Yep, round 20. I'm looking at my notes and I see number 20 and then I see round 20 is 24 stitches. Sorry guys, I just want to make sure my notes are correct. So now we are going to go on to round 21 and 22. We are just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, we're not increasing for these next 2 rounds. Just rounds 21 and 22 will have 24 single crochets in each stitch around, or in each round. That's 1 single crochet in each stitch around for 21 and 22, so no increases. But then round 23 is an increase, and I'll meet you up when we do that. Alright, that was rounds 21 and 22, just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So now we're going to increase 1 last time. Let's put 2 single crochets in this next stitch. Actually, I'm going to move my stitch marker up first so I don't mess up here. Let's put 2 single crochets in this next stitch. 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3, and then repeat that sequence all the way around. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. At the end of round 23 you will have 30 single crochets around. I'll meet you up and we'll fasten off together. Alright, at the end of round 23 we can fasten off, so let's remove our stitch marker and then go into the next stitch. You can go under both loops here, and then yarn over, pull through and through for a slip stitch, and then chain 1 and cut your yarn kind of long for sewing, and then continue to pull it through that chain 1 there and pull that tight. Okay, so this is what your piece should look like. So now we're going to grab our stuffing and stuff this piece. Okay, So just make sure you get all the way in there. There you go. And then stuff it a good amount, just like the head and the body. And we're going to sew this onto the body in the back. Now you can use the photos as a guide. We're going to sew it on just like how we sewed on this piece to the head. Okay, so we're going to go to the back of our work here. So make sure that these slip stitches are the front of the face here. Okay, so this is the front of the face, this is the back of the head here. So we're going to attach this about right here at the bottom back. Okay, so right at the lowest point here, we're going to attach this piece. So I'm going to grab my yarn needle and attach yarn my needle with that long straggler. Okay, kind of eyeball the center back here, so right about here. Okay, and we're just going to go in using the front loops of this work and then through each stitch around this piece, and we're just going to attach this all the way around. Okay, and we're just going to fasten off, just sew it on exactly how we sewed the head and the body together. So do that. Once I have this all fastened off, we can go on to making the other accessories. Alright, so I just sewed on that tail, so that's how it looks, and this looks fabulous, and if you set it down, it should stand up. How awesome! So now what we're going to do is just work from the top down, making all the accessories for our dinosaur to give it some life. So let's start off by making the spikes. I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to grab that blue, that pool yarn, and we are going to make the spikes. So let's start off with a slip knot. And then insert the hook. Okay, for these we're also working in continuous rounds and in the back loops only, just like our body, our head, and our tail. So we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and in the second chain from the hook we are going to put 6 single crochets. So go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So 1, here's 2, 3, whoopsie, there we go, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then we are going to insert a stitch marker. I have a green one here. We'll just insert that. And in round 2, we're going to just put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So very similar to how we started the tail. We're going to go into the back loops and just put 1 single crochet in each stitch. So 1, 2, 3, next stitch 4. It's going to be kind of hard to see them and, you know, get in there. Here's 5, and last one here, 6. Okay, and then what I like to do is just kind of stretch this out, make sure that it looks more pointed. There we go. So round 3 will be much easier. Let's move our stitch marker up, and for round 3 we're going to increase. Let's put 2 single crochets in each stitch around for a total of 12 single crochets on round 3. So 1 and 2 in the back loop of that stitch, go into the back loop of this next stitch right here, 3 and 4, okay, next stitch, 5 and 6, next stitch is 7 and 8, next is 9 and 10, and the last stitch 11 and 12. Okay, so we have 12 stitches on round 3, moving the stitch marker up and going on to round 4. We are just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around, so no increasing for round 4. You should still have 12 single crochets around, and then I'll meet you up for round 5. Going on to round 5, we are going to move our stitch marker up and we are going to increase. Let's put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the stitch after that. And then just repeat that sequence around. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the stitch after that. And at the end of round 5, we'll have 18 single crochets around. So I'm just going to do that and then I'll meet you up for round 6. Round 6 is a repeat of round 4. So we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around in those back loops only. But on round 6, we're going to have 18 single crochets at the end of this round. So I'm just going to do that and then I'll meet you up when I'm about to fasten this off. Alright, just finishing round 6 now. I'm going to remove my stitch marker. We're going to fasten this off, so let's go under the next stitch in both loops, front and back, yarn over, pull through and through, and then chain 1 and cut your yarn kind of long for sewing, and then continue to pull that through that chain 1 there and pull tight. Okay, and then you can kind of stretch this out, flatten it out, and make sure your long straggler that we cut is on one side of that triangular shape. So there is our spike. So now I need you to make 2 more of these, just exactly the same. So if you need to rewind this, make 2 more. I have 2 more done already. Here's 1 and here's 2. So we have 3 of these in total. Now if you want to make more spikes on your dinosaur, you can go right ahead and make as many spikes as you want, but I'm just going to make 3 of them. And we're going to attach them then to the top of our piece. And what we're going to do is start up here. If you want to raise the cam here, there we go. We're going to start here and then here. Okay, we're going to have 2 on the top next to each other like this. Okay, so if you see this kind of ridge like going down and then it's kind of coming up right here, right after that is where our first one is going to go. Okay, and then our second one is going to go right about here. And then our last one is going to come down the back of the head like this. Okay, so I'm going to sew these on. Now I'm going to sew them on very similarly to how we sewed on these pieces here. Let me start showing you this one. We fasten off exactly the same as I showed you earlier, so I don't have to show you that again. But this part we are going to start right here. Okay, actually I'm going to start right here on this side. Okay, and I'm going to go, we have to eyeball this now, going right down the center here. Okay, and we're going to go right about here. And I'm going to go underneath this, and then I'm going to go into these 2 stitches, so in this stitch and that stitch. Okay, and then we're going to pull, but we're going to position this to be straight. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to do that all the way across, and then I'm going to fasten that off. So do that, sew these on how you want, and then I am going to meet you up when all 3 are sewn on. And you can use the photos as a guide as well, or after I come back you can see how I have my dinosaur spikes all attached. Once all 3 are attached, we can go on to making the next piece. Alright, so I just attached all 3 spikes there. Looks fabulous. So now we just need to make the rest of the accessories. So let's start by making the eyes. So I'm going to set this aside. Look at how cool that looks though. It looks like a real dinosaur. Just kidding. Let's set this aside. Grab our white yarn. We're going to make the eyes next. So let's grab some white here. And we are going to start off by making a slip knot. I showed you that earlier. And we are going to do rounds 1 and 2 of the head. So I'm going to go a little faster here, and we're going to chain 2, put 6 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we are going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around, working in a spiral here. I'm going to work underneath both loops for the eyes. You can work in the back loops consistent with the other pieces, or work in the both loops on this piece. Does not matter. I'm going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around for round 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. If you needed that to be a little slower, you can rewind this to the head part of this project and do rounds 1 and 2. Let's fasten this off, so go in both loops of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through and through, chain 1, just like we get fastened off with the rest of the pieces. Cut your yarn long and pull it all the way through and pull tight, and there you have a cute little circle. So make 1 more of these, so you have 2 white pieces, just like that. And then once you have both of these made, let's set these aside and grab our black yarn so we can make our pupils. So our pupils are just round 1 of that white part. So make a slip knot, okay, and then chain 2, 1 and 2, and put 6 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, oops, oh my goodness, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then let's fasten that off. So let's go in the first single crochet, yarn over, pull through and pull through, chain 1, cut your yarn long for sewing, pull that all the way through and pull it tight. And you can see here I didn't start with the magic ring, so you can see there's like a little hole in the middle there. So I'm just going to grab my yarn needle and take that center straggler there. Okay, if you started with the magic ring, you won't have this problem. But I just yarn my needle real quick there, and then just go at the base of each stitch around and pull that, and it closes that center circle, and it looks fabulous. So you can do that, and now just if you need to rewind this to make 1 more of these exactly the same, so you have 2 the same. I have to sew that center closed. So once you have all your pieces, all 4 of those pieces done, we can attach those to our dino. Let me just sew this in real quick here. So that's bugging me. There we go. Okay, there. So now we can sew this onto our dino. So very simple. I'm just going to show you one here. We're going to take our white one here and put this black one over the top of it, grab our hook, go into the center of the back of that white one, and pull that short straggler of black through that white, just like that. Okay, then position this onto the white piece however you want it. If you want it in the center, if you want it more lower, like that, you can have it wherever you want. And then let's grab the long strand of the black yarn. Okay, yarn our needle with that, and let's sew this to the white piece here. So we're just going to go into the white piece there, and then back through both layers. Okay, all the way around. And I'm going to do this a little faster. Okay, we're just securing this. Now if you had safety eyes, obviously you wouldn't be dealing with this, but I don't have any safety eyes and I want this to be kid friendly with no small parts, so nicely that these are crocheted eyes. Okay, so now I'm going back in. You want to end on the inside or the back side of your work. Okay, so that's attached. Looks good. So on this side, we are going to tie these 2 stragglers in a knot in the back. go. Okay, and then I'm going to cut all these pieces in the back short. Careful with your scissors. Okay, and then we're going to position this. We're going to do the same thing to those other two pieces, but we're going to position this onto our dino right about here. Okay, I'm going to take my hook inside, okay, and grab those three stragglers and pull them in. Just pull. Oopsie. Just grab them and pull them in. There we go. Okay, so those are in there, secure and hidden. And now we can take our yarn needle and sew this on just like we sewed the body and the tail onto the pieces. Just yarn your needle and work in these loops here, working around and around and around. And then just fasten off, just like I showed you earlier how to fasten off. You can fasten off that way. And then I'm going to do that for both this eye and the other eye. And then we have eyelids to make. Silly little eyelids. Those are optional though. So I'm going to show you next how to make those eyelids, and we can attach those. Alright, so I just sewed on both of those eyes, so they look good. The dinosaur is coming together. So one thing I did want to do before we make the eyelids is embroider a nose. Now again, this is optional. You don't really have to do this. I'm just embroidering the nose, but if you want to embroider a mouth, good luck. So we're just going to go in from here and skipping those two right there. Just kind of eyeball it. I'll show you this way here. Okay, so I'm going in like this. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in to here where they came out of. Then skip this stitch in the center there, come out this stitch right here. Okay, and then come around to about here. Oops, right about here. Okay, and then come back through. Oh my goodness, can I get it? There we go. Okay. There we go. And then we're going to go up into here and out to the center right here with this one. Okay, so there's two pieces there. And then we're going to cut this yarn on this piece, and we're going to yarn our needle with this one. I know you're probably like, what the heck, Nad? This is so weird. We're going to go back up through this one here, and then out the same one that this one is coming out of. There's a method to my madness. Okay, I'm going to tie these two in a knot. Okay, I'm going to cut them shorter, and I'm going to grab my hook, go into the head, out through that same spot, and just suck those in. Oops. There we go. Just like that. And then just fool around with this embroidering. Make sure it looks good. You can use your needle here. There we go. There's a cute little nose. How fun. There we go. Just make it a little longer. There. Awesome. So we have a cute little nose now. Now we're going to make those eyelids that I promised. So let's grab our green. Set this aside. Make a slip knot. Okay, insert your hook and chain 2. 1 and 2. Now in the second chain from the hook, we're going to put 3 single crochets. So go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And again, go in, there's 2 and 3. Okay, then we're going to chain 1, turn our work around, we're working in rows. We're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch across for 6 stitches. So 1 and 2. Here's 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Then chain 1, turn your work around, okay, row 3. We are going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch. Whoopsie. Let's try that again. 2 single crochets in the first stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1. Then 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, then 1 single crochet in the next stitch, then 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Then chain 1 and turn your work around. You should have 9 stitches on that row. Going on to row 4, we're not increasing or anything. We are just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch across for a total of 9 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then we are going to fasten off. So let's chain 1, turn our, cut our yarn, cut your yarn long, and pull that all the way through and pull tight. Alright, so once you fasten that off, you need to just rewind this and make 1 more of these so you have another eyelid, but I already have one sewn onto our dino, so look at how cute that looks. Oh my gosh. So it's just a cute little detail to add, just looking like he's like opening his eye. So we're going to attach this one to this side, so let's grab our yarn needle and yarn our needle with that longer strand, and that shorter strand we are actually going to pull that into our dino head. So go into here, just like that. Okay, so position that over the eye, and we have this yarn needle already. So we're just going to go around the edge of this eye here with this piece. So we're just going to attach this very similarly to how we attach the eye, but we're just going to now go around the eye with the eyelid, and it's just half of the eye, you know, the top half. Okay, so I'm just going around and around, and just like that, and then fasten off just like I showed you earlier. Once or twice you can tie a knot, and then just shove the yarn right back into the head of the dinosaur, and that should be fine. So I'm going to attach this eyelid, and then we can go on to making the arms. Alright, I have both of the eyelids attached, so we have the spikes, the eyes, and everything, and the nose embroidered. So now let's go on to making the arms. So I'm going to set this aside and grab my blue yarn, which is called Pool, and the arms are very simple. We are going to make a slip knot and do rounds 1 and 2, just like we made the eye. We made rounds 1 and 2, which are chain 2, and then put 6 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. I know I've shown you this many times in this video now, but each piece kind of starts the same, and then they kind of deviate and go into their own way, or their own shape here. So I'm just going to repeat rounds 1 and 2 of the head, or just repeat the eye basically, and then when I have 12 stitches around, I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 3. Alright, moving my stitch marker up, so I did rounds 1 and 2, so I have 6 on round 1 and then 12 stitches on round 2. So rounds 3 through 7, so the next 5 rounds, we are just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around. That's rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then once we finish round 7, we'll fasten this off. We have to make another one, and then we can sew this to our dinosaur. Alright, I'm just going to remove my stitch marker there, but you can fasten this off. If you want to make your arms a little longer, you can just repeat that, just single crochet in each stitch around and for however many rows you want. But I'm going to fasten this off just like I showed you in the other pieces. Just chain that one. Oh, I'm using the wrong hook. Whoopsie. And then we're going to cut that yarn kind of long for sewing and then pull that all the way through and pull tight. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to, you can rewind this, make another one exactly the same, so we have 2 of those. Let's stuff those and attach those to our body. Now I'm just going to stuff them quite, kind of lightly. I'm not going to stuff them completely, but that's up to you. That's creator's choice. So I'm just going to, I'm going to take some out here. We're just going to stuff it lightly, kind of more down in the bottom here. And then we're going to sew this on flat to our piece, or to our dino. So let's grab our dinosaur, okay, position this where we want it, right about here. Grab our yarn needle, oopsie, okay, and we're just sewing this on exactly how we sewed on the spikes. Okay, so again, I don't have to show you how to do this whole thing, but we're gonna just position it, and what I like to do is actually work with it upside down, or like this, raised, so it's working underneath the stitches. Okay, we're gonna go into the front loops here and then into both layers to close that arm there. So go into the next stitch and the next 2 stitches, exactly how we did the spikes. So we're just gonna do that, and then I'm gonna sew on the other one, and then we can make the legs. Alright, so I just attached the arms here, so those are so cute. So now we just have to do one last thing and make both legs, and we can attach them and be done with our dino. So let's set this aside. Actually, for the legs, we need to repeat rounds 1 and 2 of the arms here. So I already did that, so we don't have to repeat, chain 2, put 6 single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then for round 2, put 2 single crochet in each stitch around. That is the same as this rounds 1 and 2 of the arm, so I already have it done for this part here. So now going on to round 3, so do that and then come back here where you could pause this if you need to. And then for round 3, for the leg, we are going to move our stitch marker up and we are going to increase, so let's put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and repeat that sequence all the way around. So put 2 single crochets, 2 single crochets in the next stitch right here, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and repeat that around. You'll have 18 single crochets at the end of this round, so I'll do that and then I'll meet you up for round 4. Alright, so I have 18 stitches around for round 3. Let's move on to round 4, moving our stitch marker up. Rounds 4 through 10, we are just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So these next 7 rounds will just have 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Just notice I am continuing with the working in the back loops only. So I recommend you do that too, just to be consistent with all your pieces. And I'm just going to single crochet in the back loops here for 7 rounds. That's rounds 4 through 10, and when I finish round 10 we can fasten off and make another one. Alright, just fasten off. We're just going to go under both loops there and yarn over, pull through and through. Now if you wanted your legs to be longer, you can obviously repeat those rounds to make yours as long as you need to. But I'm just going to fasten this off by chaining 1, cutting my yarn long and pulling that all the way through and pulling tight, removing that stitch marker. And now you just need to rewind this and make another one. I have already attached my other one to my dinosaur, so you can see here. So all we need to do is just make another one of these, and we're going to stuff it very lightly, just like we did with the arms here. We're just going to stuff it just lightly. Okay, there we we go. And then we're going to attach it on an angle here. So I'm going to show you on this side. I'm going to lay this down, and we are going to have it equally to the other side. Okay, about right there. And just like I did for the arms, we are going to sew it on the underside. So yarn your needle with that long straggler that we just cut. Flip this over. Actually, I'm going to flip it up like this. Sorry guys, I want to start my yarn on the bottom. Okay, so we're going to line this up with the other foot. Okay, that's about right. Yep. And then flip this over. And then we're just going to go under those front loops that we skipped. We're just going to whip stitch this together. And you know what? You can actually watch me do this full thing, because if you forgot how to fasten off, you can rewind this to see how we fastened off. But I am going to just do this real quick for the cam and then fasten off for you. You can see here under these stitches, and I'm just whip stitching. Okay, a few stitches left. Make sure we have, we end on this row here. Alright. And then, to fasten off, we're going to go underneath a few stitches, just like this. Keep your finger in the loop, come back around through the loop, and pull tight. And you can do that once or twice, and then just insert your hook into the same colored piece, shove your yarn through there, and then cut any extra, stretch it out, hide that piece, and there it is. Oh my gosh, that is so cute! Thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this cute little dinosaur. You can play around with it, make sure you can manipulate your pieces how you want. You might want to pin these together here, but that is so adorable. Oh my god, I love those eyelids. They just give a little detail. Make sure to check out the links in the description of this video. Please support YARNutopia. There is a support button on the sidebar on my website, YARNutopia.com. Support us so we can keep bringing you these fantastic crochet tutorials. This is so funny. I'm going to enjoy this little dinosaur. You can give this to anybody, any child, anybody who loves dinosaurs. I think this is so cute. So thanks again for watching. Thanks to my dad for filming and doing all the editing for this. And until next time, happy hooking!